And good morning. I am Joe Augustinelli, social media manager here at Greenway Health. Although I say here at Greenway Health, we're actually live in Las Vegas at HIMSS 2018. More than 50,000 attendees from the healthcare industry, including our CEO, Scott Zimmerman, who is joining me today as we launch our new podcast, Putting Possibility into Practice. Scott, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, and it's just after 11:30 on the East Coast, 8:30 here in Las Vegas. And Scott, we're at booth 5429, and looking forward to everything in this podcast. So, following HIMSS, you'll be able to listen to our podcast on our SoundCloud account. We'll also have it uploaded on iTunes and coming soon on Google Play. We'll have a little background noise, but hey, it's a conference with over 50,000 people. It's a trade show. So there's going to be all sorts of different noises in the next 10 minutes, but just focus on us, and we'll get you all set up for our podcast.
We'll roll with it.
So, Scott, let's start off with talking about Greenway Health and the last few months at Greenway Health. And in October, Greenway announced Project Polaris, the development of a new EHR PM platform. Can you provide an update on how the project is coming along?
Yeah, I think we made a couple big announcements in October, and we're pretty excited inside the business. We're really shifting from playing defense over the last few years to kind of playing offense as a business. And one of the things that we needed to contend with was the tax that we were paying by having, really 3 flagship platforms that our customers were operating from. And we really recognized there was an opportunity to move the platform into the future. And so the teams did a great job internally, as well as using some external experts to really understand the technical debt that existed inside of our platforms, to do a heuristic analysis or a complexity analysis of where the intelligence actually sat inside the systems, so that we could decide a path forward. And, amongst 8 alternatives, we really narrowed it down to feeling like the best way we could make and keep promises to customers, to not keep customers waiting 2 or 3 years to see a new platform, was to transform our existing Entergy platform and take that platform into the future. And so as a part of that, what we're really excited about is really a recognition that these systems were the electronifying of paper processes. But the processes we were electronifying weren't very efficient to begin with. So we really think there's an opportunity to reimagine the work of the different roles that use the system, the jobs they do, and the outcomes they're trying to create. So when we look at what we're trying to do with the system, we're using an external experience design firm to really supplement our internal teams to make sure we really design a system that delights for customers. We're also super excited about having a customer advisory board. It's not just about customers providing ad hoc input. It's how do we deeply immerse customers in to help us make the important decisions and marshal resources around what we do with the platform, so that we have a platform that's built by caregivers for caregivers. So we're really excited to be doing that with a variety of different practices. And then we're even looking at how we reimagine the way our development teams work at Greenway. So we're really looking at how we implement Agile, how the teams work together differently, and how the functions work together differently so we can produce something magical. And I think what's most exciting is, we're really coming up, April, May will be 6 months kind of into the journey after we started kind of launching and building up the teams, and really everything's on track to deliver that first release. So we're expecting to deliver a release every 6 months over the next 2 years that completely refactors our existing system and creates a system that's designed for delight.
Great. Sounds exciting for all of our customers and partners that we are with. And speaking of October announcements, Greenway has undergone some significant changes recently. Can you tell us why?
Yeah. The other announcement that we made is something internally we call One Greenway. And one of the things that we recognize is that we have a real spirit in the legacy of this business about taking care of customers, but I really felt like we had an opportunity to do more. We did a great job taking care. We would talk about customer support. We would talk about the customer experience, but the reality was that the geographic and functional silos that separated us really prevented us from coordinating commitments as an organization. We have employees that make a commitment to a customer on a support line, but they require people in development or another function to be able to fulfill that commitment. And one of the things that we saw is that we couldn't deliver with the speed and quality we wanted. We couldn't deliver exquisite care to customers, if we didn't really focus on relationships and how the information was flowing across the organization. So we felt like we could do a better job long-term taking care of customers by really relocating all functional groups under one roof in Tampa. We do have a couple remote facilities. We do a phenomenal job with support and services, like our revenue services business out of Carrollton. We've got a great development team in Alachua that's really building this Project Polaris platform. But we felt like there was going to need to be more imagination and innovation moving forward inside the business, and we needed to really care for the speed and quality that we delivered for customers in order to be successful. And we think tearing down these silos will make a difference in our ability to deliver that care for customers.
And now you've joined Greenway now about 2 years. You joined in April of 2016. So what are you most proud of achieving since you joined Greenway just a little under 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in an industry that has a lot of undisciplined happy talk. And what I'm most proud of, in our teams and what they've done for our customers is we're really bringing the trust back into the business. We're really building the business around a really simple idea. How do we make meaningful promises to customers and each other, and how do we keep them? Make them and keep them. And I think we've done a really good job doing that. When I step back and say employees and customers vote with their feet, our employee net promoter scores are 6 times higher than they were just a year ago. We have 48% less turnover, which means that employees that are knowledgeable are in seats serving our customers. Our customer retention is the highest it's been in 4 years. I'm super proud of our teams, kind of separate from those accomplishments, because that's all shown up in the financial results as well. But I'm excited about our clearinghouse team. Here's a team that had struggled a little bit with kind of making commitments. We're seeing a team that has a dramatically different employee net promoter score. They're delivering consistently and kind of meeting dates for our customers. That's super exciting to me. You look at our revenue services business. Here's a business that wasn't that profitable just a couple of years ago. Not only has that business become very profitable and done a great job with customers, but they were just recognized by a third-party class for really being best in class on revenue services. So what we're looking at is individual teams that are feeling more empowered and courageous to stand up and kind of take charge of their piece of the business, all in service to our customers. And I'm just excited about more of those stories kind of proliferating across the business on behalf of customers.
Great. Sounds great. Now, Greenway has a new tagline. It's right behind us, the new logo also behind us, and the name of this podcast, Putting Possibility into Practice. What does that mean for our customers?
I think a big piece of what it means for our customers is, there's a tremendous amount of change that's happening inside the space. And I think in order for our practices to not just survive, they need to thrive. And to do that, they actually have to move from being reactive and really holding on to the way they've done things to really getting more proactive with their practice. So how are they shifting their practice increasingly from reactive to proactive? How are they shifting from physically present care to more virtual care? And so I think, as a business, what we're really excited about is how can the technology backbone in the practice really support practices for making that transformation, being more agile with all the changes that are coming at them. And I think that means we have to fashion a business internally similar to what customers are going to need to do externally. They're going to need to have empowered cultures inside their business in order to be able to be successful. They have to be inspired to find powerful new ways to kind of conduct their business. They need to be focused on how they engage to delight their patients so that they don't walk down the street to a retail health clinic at 50% of the cost because it's easier to get into that practice. They have to look at how they can simplify complexity within their business so it's easier to do good work. And they also have to, think about and be inspired to find new ways of doing the work that they've always done. So that possibility is kind of a loaded term, and it's really an excitement about the choices that we can make today. The new choices that we make today can be a more powerful, for these practices can be more powerful moving forward in terms of improving the lives they serve.
Sounds great. And anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up here, our first episode of this new podcast?
No, this is fun. I mean, thanks for having me on. And I'm excited about HIMSS. It's an opportunity for tremendous connection with old friends and people that I've seen over the years at the conference, the customers, the customers I know, gives me goosebumps. The customers that I know and our opportunity to kind of deepen those relationships, customers I don't yet know who can inform us of better ways that we can serve, and really all our suppliers and the people that kind of make this happen. We're all in it together. So I'm just excited for the opportunity to connect with everybody.
No problem. It was a pleasure having you. You're the CEO. You can come on Facebook Live and the podcast anytime you want. So, all righty. Thank you, Scott, for joining me this morning here on Facebook Live and on the launch of our podcast, Putting Possibility in Practice. Now, if you're at HIMSS, we are in booth 5429, so please do make sure and stop by if you're in HIMSS here at Las Vegas. We have enjoyed our time together here as we launch our new podcast, Putting Possibility into Practice. I want to once again thank my guest, CEO Scott Zimmerman, for taking time out of his busy day this morning. And a reminder that you can find all of our episodes of Putting Possibility into Practice on SoundCloud and on the iTunes Store. And we will be on Google Play in the coming weeks. Once again, live from HIMSS, I'm Joe Agostinelli, Social Media Manager. And enjoy the conference if you're here. And thank you again for listening to our podcast, Putting Possibility into Practice.